Today, Camila and I, we study physics. So explain that math and English, they are languages, they are foundations of the science. And the difference between things, position, distance, and time. Then we talked about how you can represent that in math, like x and y at t0, t1. And we talked about the first law of Newton. But we were building up based again on the triangle like space, mass, and time. What is fast and what's slow. Bigger mass takes more time or slower to accelerate. But at the time, we didn't know what acceleration was. So then we talked about representation of different speeds in the t versus x axis. Then the difference between fast and slow, and this being like at rest. And then Camila said, well, what if you go super fast? Then you go very, very fast. She asked about speed of light, which is very, very fast, although finite. We didn't get into relativity. So then change in velocity, what happens to the curve, and we talked about the pendulum. Then I tried to draw the pendulum, like how the shape of the curve will look like, which she tried to do herself here. Then with the pendulum again, we talked about the change in velocity, that it goes 0, 0, plus and minus in the reference of the pendulum here. Then the first law, again, back to the first law, which is relationship between time and distance, no mass yet, which brings to the variation in velocity, which is acceleration. So we introduced acceleration about the car going from 0 to 100, and how acceleration brings us to the second law of Newton, which is force, mass times acceleration, which is the relationship between mass and pretty much the distance and time through the velocity, through the acceleration. So we stopped here. It took us about 2 hours. We also touched on this, which is the derivative or the tangent or the variation change in the curve, which is the foundation of calculus. So very good, of course, a lot of information, and we'll get back to that in the next days.